Dear students, welcome to the digital classroom of Cambrian College. I am Amitab. I am going to conduct the class on Unit 2, and the name of this unit is Greatest Scientific Achievement, and this is the lesson 1 of the Unit 2. And the name of the lesson 1 is the sum of the greatest scientific achievements of the latest 50 years. You can have a gaze, having a glimpse of these images, and you can have the clear idea on what topic the discussion will be conducted. This is hard, computer, satellite. That means hard, computer and satellite. These topics will be included regarding the discussion. This is the learning outcome at the end of this session or discussion or this class. You will come across these facts. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to comprehend the advancement of science, analyze the history of artificial heart, personal computer and satellite communication, and finally understand the greatest scientific achievements. That means the artificial heart, the personal computer and the first communication satellite will be discussed in this class. Some of the greatest scientific achievements in the last 50 years. In the last 50 years, what are the achievements we achieved will be discussed in this class. Let's get acquainted with some vocabularies which are very much important if you would like to understand the passage or the text. Relatively, that means comparatively or moderately. Tend means incline or to be likely. And there lies a sentence which is very much available in the text. And what is the sentence? We human beings tend to forget how far we have come across a species in a relatively short period of time. That means within a very short time, we are able to claim ourselves as a complete species. And transatlantic, that means crossing the Atlantic. Whenever there is the chance of crossing the Atlantic, we use the term transatlantic. And incredible changes, the changes that is really that are really incredible. Adapt. What's the meaning of this word adapt? Adapt means to adjust ourselves to the situation or to the circumstances. And change means alter. Alter means change. And each and every moment we are to confront with something newness. We are to embrace newness. We are to, that means, adapt ourselves to something new. Then whenever something is altered, we are to adapt ourselves to this change. For that reason, the sentence which is available in the text is written, adapt to incredible change. That means the world has been altered and we are to adapt ourselves to this changed world. In the text, this information is given: house lighted with electricity. We get the information when the first house was lighted with electricity, and the year is 1870s. That means in 1870s, the first house was lighted with electricity. Then in a very cocooned way, we can term this sentence in a noun form, and that is invention or use of electricity. In a very short way, in a noun form, we can transform this sentence: the first house was lighted in 1870s, and this noun form is invention of electricity. This noun form is very much important whenever you are supposed to write down flowchart. Then with the invention of electricity, scientific advancement started to flourish. That means in a noun form we can say advancement of science. That means advancement of science starts with the invention of electricity. Then you see this one is Charles Lindbergh and the first Atlantic flight. Charles Lindbergh first made a flight which was used to cross the Atlantic Ocean. We see a motion here in this image. The Charles Lindbergh made the first transatlantic flight in 1927. That means in a noun form we use the formulation or contrivance or invention of first transatlantic flight. These synonymous words are used because when you are supposed to write down the flowchart, you are to come up with variation. No similar words is appreciated. For that reason, variation is put here. Car just started to become available 100 years ago. That means the use of car or the invention of car, basically after the invention of car, the use of cars started 100 years ago. For that reason, we see the use of cars or availability of cars. Then television didn't become widely available until after World War II. That means after World War, the use of television becomes prominent. That means in a noun form, we can write down the invention or availability of television. That means invention of availability of television is very much prominent, is prominently seen after the World War II. Then humankind has made amazing scientific advances in a short period of time. This line is taken from the text. So whenever you transform this sentence into noun 1, you have to write down the scientific advancement of humankind in a very shorter way. To give you the infographic image, I have transformed it into noun form, the scientific advancement of humankind. Then our world has been altered in a short span of time. That means this information tells about the alteration of the world in a short period of time with the advancement of technology, definitely. We tend to simply adapt to these incredible changes. This information has been discussed in the previous slide. This is the representation, chronological representation of this information, a compact presentation. Evaluation. When you go through this text, you will be able to produce these flowchart in a very noun form. Based on your reading of the passage, make short notes of the boxes in the flowchart showing the tremendous advancement of human beings. That means use of electricity. That this noun form has been used. You are to put the information into this box in a noun form, and the noun form has been discussed. Then artificial heart. Regarding artificial heart, we have to get familiarity with these vocabularies. And what are the vocabularies? Implant. What's the meaning of implant? To put or fix firmly, or insert or inlay. And then transplant, transfer from one part of a human body to another. That means transfer from one part of the body to another. That means in a very shorter way, we can use the word shift as well. Heart transplant surgery, transplant surgery, that means artificial heart can be set into human body with the help of heart transplant surgery. And with that blessings, we are able to live longer. That means increase in human lifespan. Human lifespan has been increased. Then species, this has been discussed earlier. We are now able to claim ourselves as a perfect species with process of evaluation, definitely. The prospect of living longer. With the invention of artificial heart, the prospect of living longer has been enhanced. Peak. Peak, you will come across this word. Peak means excite, insight, awake. O2 means indebted to. We are very much grateful to. We are very much grateful to this invention of artificial heart. And these are the sentences which are available in this passage regarding artificial heart. There is something that piques the interest of human being quite as much as the prospect of living longer. That means we are very much curious about a longer life, to enhance our life a bit longer. That means enhancement of the prospect of life, of living life. That means our life has been enhanced with the invention of artificial heart. Okay. Implantation of artificial heart. This is the image of artificial heart which was first implanted in human body and increase in human lifespan, and with the implantation of artificial heart, human lifespan has been increased. So the passage says that implanting a person with an artificial heart in 1982 was an extraordinary step towards increasing human lifespan. Definitely human lifespan has been increased with the implantation of artificial heart. The Jarvik 7, this is the name of first artificial heart, the Jarvik 7, and Robert Jarvik is the designer, that means inventor of this artificial heart. This is the actual image of Robert Jarvik and artificial heart Jarvik 7. Jarvik 7 is an artificial heart which was designed by Robert Jarvik. This sentence is taken from the passage. And Dr. Barney Clark, a Seattle-based dentist, implanted means who was implanted? He was the first person who was implanted with artificial heart, and the name of that person is Dr. Barney Clark. He survived 112 days. It's a tremendous breakthrough regarding the invention of artificial heart and the advancement of science. Development of heart transplant surgery, this phrasal expression has been discussed earlier. The prospect of living longer. Then the passage says, the prospect of living a longer and productive life was increased with the development of heart transplant surgery. That means with the development of heart transplant surgery, human lifespan has been increased. Now, the personal computer. What do we know about personal computer? What ideas are available in the passage? We will come across the fact. The personal computer, today we take for granted that we have mentioned that personal computer. And what is the function of personal computer? Why personal computer is used? This information has been given. Personal computer permits us to use a calculator, at the same time allows us to watch TV and allows us to access the internet. Assist us, assist means helps, and synonymous words have been used to do a host of other things. Facilitates us to play games, that means verb has been produced. Facilitates us to play games, helps us to do word processing. This information is available in the text. We have just put it in a chronological way using verb in front of the information. Then if you go through this passage and follow my instruction as well as my lecture given in front of you, I think you will be able to write down all the answers to this question. And if you write down, you can take a screenshot and send this screenshot to me. I will check it out. And there are 5 questions. Then the first communication satellite. Today's high-tech world means the world is very much technologically highly advanced. And the relay means broadcast. With the help of the satellite, we can be easily broadcast or relay different sorts of program. Make instant communication possible. With the help of scientific advancement, as well as we can easily communicate with others. That means communication has been easier. Commence journey, that means start journey. Innovations means something that is associated with creation or creative effort is given regarding innovation. Then incorporate means includes. Incorporate innovations, that means this is a satellite. In this satellite, many innovations have been incorporated, has been added. And the name of this satellite is Telstar. The Telstar, what is Telstar? It is the first ever active communication satellite. And this communication satellite is very much prominent and played a pioneer role because many innovations which are done by scientific advancement have been added to this satellite. This is called Telstar satellite, and this is the actual image of Telstar satellite. And the orbit, the satellite moves in the path, orbits in a path, an oval path. Orbit means a curved path followed by a satellite, an egg-shaped orbit. This is egg-shaped orbit, and satellite moves in that orbit. Then first communication satellite, as it is said earlier that these sentences are taken from the passage, people on earth may take for granted today's high-tech world of cell phones, GPS and the satellite high above the planet that make instant communication possible. Yes, that instant communication possible, this is the focal factor. This is possible with the blessings of satellite, that we can easily communicate in a very instant way with the help of satellite. So in a very cocooned way, we can say that the possibility or the prospect or the probability or feasibility of instant communication with the blessings of satellite. But it all began 50 years ago with one giant space balloon. A giant space balloon was sent to the space, and since then it is treated to be the birth of satellite. So on 10th July 1962 marked the birth of satellite communications. That means in a very shorter way we can say that birth of satellite communication on 10th July 1962, and we have to transform it in a noun form because these are very much important for producing flowchart. Okay. Then on this day the Telstar commenced its journey, that means started its journey into space and became the first ever active communication satellite. And soon after its start to its journey to space, the communication starts. The first ever active communication starts. So it is called the first ever active communication satellite. So commands, we can turn it into noun form. Commencement of the journey of the Telstar satellite into space. Then Telstar, what is Telstar? Telstar is the first ever active communication. Is, B verb has been omitted. Regarding, if you would like to use this information into flowchart, you are to omit B verb. For that reason, B verb has been omitted. Telstar is a first ever active communication, means Telstar first ever active communication satellite. Then incorporation of many innovations, as it is said earlier that many innovations have been incorporated into Telstar. So what are the innovations? These are the innovations that have been added to Telstar. Incorporated many innovations, incorporated the transistor has been incorporated in Telstar, and 3600 solar panels and 3600 solar panels, that's powered, these solar panels powered the satellite and produce 14 watts. Satellite was able to produce 14 watts with that power which was got from 3600 solar panels. And relate fast and non-public television, relate means broadcast, fast and non-public television, with the help of this satellite, fast non-public television was released in 1962. Could carry 600 voice calls and 1 black and white TV channels from an egg-shaped orbit. It moves in an egg-shaped orbit, and with its regular movement it can perform these functions, and these innovations have been added, and these functions are done by the Telstar. And why is satellite used for? What is the necessity of satellite? What functions can be done with the help of satellite? Weather tracking, we can usually use satellite to track weather. Military surveillance, to have a close eye whether crime is going on or not. military surveillance is possible with the help of satellite. GPS, to have proper direction, we can use GPS facilities with the blessings of satellite and scientific advancement as well. Space exploration, this is a very much prominent steps. Space exploration, global communication is possible, we are doing so. Radio and television, all these are done with the help of satellite, and this satellite has been invented with the blessings of science. Then there lies another flowchart which is given based on satellite. Based on your reading of the passage, make short notes in each of the boxes in the flowchart showing the function of satellite. We have come across the function of the satellite, and the function of the satellites will be put in the boxes. That's all for today. Thank you. I think this lecture will be very much helpful to have a clear understanding on this chapter. Thank you.